Hey everybody, I'm Sasha, and for this video, I'm going to review Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And of course, recently today I went to Barnes & Noble and I bought the novel Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yep, yeah, Quentin Tarantino wrote it, of course. I think Quentin Tarantino is doing writing now. I don't know. I think there's a saying he's gonna retire from doing films. I like his movies; they're really cool. But yeah, I haven't read this yet, the novel yet, not yet, but because I just bought it. So yeah. But overall, this is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I've seen the movie a bunch of times. I haven't watched it recently. Haven't watched it since I was in high school, I must say. So it's been a while. My dad's been watching this recently on Amazon, I think. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So basically, Leonardo DiCaprio he plays Rick Dalton, kind of a actor whose career is coming to an end in a way, as a leading man, that is, as the leading character of something. So his career is kind of going down a little bit, and him and his friend, Cliff Booth, played by Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie plays Sharon Tate. Yeah. So he has to go to Rome to star in westerns, star in Italian westerns, but like he says, oh, have you ever seen Italian westerns? They're awful. I've seen enough. Nobody likes Italian westerns. No one likes them. Like, really? I mean, you should watch a Clint Eastwood movie, because my dad told me that's where Clint Eastwood started, in Italian westerns. Yeah. So, yeah, basically what this movie is, it's, it's basically Hollywood 1969. This is how, so basically what this is just what Hollywood was like back then. The fairy tale version, as it actually says on the back of the book, what it's about, the fairy tale and the real thing of Hollywood. Trust me. So, yeah, that's basically what it is, I guess. Like, this is what Hollywood was back in 69. Like, what it was like and all that stuff. And, well, it's a little hard for me to explain, so on the back here, but here's what it is. It visits Hollywood 1969, Los Angeles. Everything is changing as the TV star Rick Dalton and his longtime stunt double Cliff Booth, they make their way around an industry they hardly recognize anymore. Yeah, they make it around an industry that they hardly even recognize. They don't recognize it anymore. Okay, so basically the ninth film from writer-director Quentin Tarantino. See, a large ensemble cast. Yes, no kidding. Multiple storylines and a tribute to the final moments of Hollywood's golden age. So basically that's what it is. It's just a movie of Hollywood's golden age. It's basically what Hollywood was like. That's it. It's just what Hollywood was like back then. Like the fairy tale and the real life. How it was. So that's pretty much all I could say what the story is. But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, did I like this movie? Yes, I actually really liked this movie. This was the movie that got me into other Tarantino movies. I had a DVD of this before. I bought this Blu-ray, but I got the Blu-ray just because there's Blu-ray exclusives, and I think there was something going on with my DVD, so I had to get a Blu-ray. Or I wanted to get a Blu-ray anyway. Just because it's a little smaller and thinner, so it's easy to travel with, carry with you. And yeah, I liked the multiple storylines. I thought they were really cool. The multiple things. The music was phenomenal. I don't have a soundtrack. I did see a soundtrack at Barnes & Noble once. Barnes & Noble's where I bought this. But I didn't buy it because it was $30. Like, no, I didn't want to pay $30 for a CD. Yeah, and but that was a very long time ago. I liked the directing. The directing was pretty good. The cast, I like the cast. We got Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie. Kurt Russell is here too. Mike Moe played Bruce Lee. And what I also think is kind of interesting is this movie kind of crosses paths with the Manson murders. Oh, trust me, you watch the end of this movie, you'd understand. Trust me, it actually does, because Charles Manson is used as a character. So is Tex and all of them. Tex Watson. Tex Watson in this movie is played by Elvis, Austin Butler. He's played by Austin Butler, so that was pretty cool. The guy who later on played Elvis was here before that as Tex, a murderer. Like, really? So it's kind of interesting. I thought it was really fun. It was pretty cool, and I like that it's same actors Tarantino used in previous movies, like DiCaprio. He was in Django Unchained. Brad Pitt was in Inglourious Bastards. Kurt Russell, Death Proof, The Hateful Eight. Yeah. Yeah, Kurt Russell's here too. I think I said that. Let's see. Who else? Anyone else in this movie? The movie also had Dakota Fanning. I don't know how many Tarantino movies she was in. Yeah, Dakota Fanning, the voice of Coraline, for crying out loud, is in this movie. Dakota Fanning was also in My Neighbor Totoro, the English dub, Disney's English dub, I want to say. Her and Elle Fanning are in it. Yeah. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I pretty much liked everything about it. I thought it was a really good movie. Yeah, it was really fun. It's like one of the best movies I've seen of 2019. I don't know what to like more. Actually, I think I do. I don't know. Is it Uncut Gems or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Which I do have Uncut Gems on a Blu-ray. It's over there. 1 second. Yeah, this movie, Uncut Gems, is also from 2019. So, which do I like more? Do I like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood more or Uncut Gems? I don't know. I might decide on that later. Probably Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't know. I mean, I liked Uncut Gems. Don't get me wrong. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was a really good one. It's a real crazy ending, I'll tell you that. And I like that. It's a really crazy ending. And I love it when, DiCaprio or Rick Dalton says, "You're a good man. You're a good friend, Cliff." And Cliff, played by Brad Pitt, he goes, "I try." Like, that's so cool. Me and my dad, we have a thing where we do that in a way. Yeah. So it's kind of funny to me. Yeah. So yeah, it was a really good film. One of the best films Quentin Tarantino's ever done. This movie went to the Oscars big time. That's what I say. So yeah, really good movie. It's even one of Sony's best films that they've released. So I highly recommend this. This movie, definitely don't show it to your kids. I mean, you can be the judge of that. Now, this movie is rated R for language throughout, some strong graphic violence, drug use, and sexual references. So, yeah, there are sexual references. There's really bad language in this film. Drugs, yes, like Cliff Booth buys an acid-dipped cigarette, a cigarette dipped in acid, basically. Hey, if you don't smoke it by mistake. You want to smoke some, smoke some. Just save some for me. Damn, yeah. And, yeah. In Canada, this movie is 14A for coarse language, violence. Yeah, coarse language and violence, basically, yeah. So, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was one of the best films I've ever seen. It was a really good movie. Best film of 2019. Probably Uncut Gems or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Tough call. I mean, this movie scores 85, I think, on Rotten Tomatoes. While Uncut Gems scored 91. But they're both in the 70s with the Google user score. 70-something. 70-something, my ass. Personally, I don't even care. I like this movie. Don't get me wrong, Uncut Gems is still a good movie. Yeah, but this is about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was a really good movie. Great soundtrack, great cast, great everything. So, without further ado, I'm going to rate this movie 4.5 stars out of 5. And be sure to read the book if you haven't already. I haven't. Not yet. So yeah, I do have the book. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Quentin Tarantino. Of course. It's Tarantino. Feet. Yeah. Alright, so, yeah. That's my review on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So yeah, if you haven't seen this movie, do check it out. It's one of Tarantino's best films. Now, if you like what you see, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.